This is the New York Sports Machine on WICR.
Hi there, this is Savvy Garcia alongside John Nickus.
Hey there, guys. How you doing?
And this is our weekly podcast, guys. How's everything out there? So since it's, NFL offseason and free agency's just getting started, we figured we'd talk about NFL offseason. How's that sound, John?
Sounds good to me.
All right. So I think we're going to focus more on the defensive players today. John's going to talk about the two players that just signed on their new deal, and I'll talk more about the two players that re-signed. So let's start with Dominican Sue. What did you think about that deal?
Well, he signed a ginormous contract the other day with the Dolphins. The numbers on that is $114 million for 5 years with $60 million guaranteed.
Wow, that's enormous. Did you expect him to sign this early?
No, I did not. No. I would have thought he'd just, survey the field, see how much he could get. But I think the Dolphins gave him a big contract early, and he couldn't, deny that. Couldn't refuse taking that, so...
I hear that. I hear that.
Good for him.
What do you think of? Do you think the money's worth his production?
I do. I think he's a good defensive player in the league. So he'll probably help the Dolphins. Get a better record than they did last year. So they should be good.
Yeah, especially since the Dolphins' run defense was struggling last year.
Right.
Do you think it was a good move? Obviously, right? Gonna help the defense, stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. Next person I want to talk about is Byron Maxwell. How did you feel about that contract?
That contract is a bit risky considering how the corners have turned out for the Eagles in recent years. But no, he's good. He's kind of hasn't proven himself yet, but he's still a good corner. And I don't know. I think he'll be good he'll be good for them. He signed for 6 years, $63 million.
Yeah, which I thought was a little pricey myself too. Especially regarding back to the corners not working out in Philly. Nnamdi Asomugha and Kerry Williams, just a couple names to think about when it comes to players that signed pretty decent contracts to go over there and didn't quite work out so well.
Mm-hmm.
So who's next?
All right. Let me ask you about Kareem Jackson. What do you think about his contract?
Well, I wasn't surprised he resigned with the Texans. I felt I had a urge that he was going to. 4 years, $34 million, $20 million guaranteed. Not bad, not horrible numbers. It's just interesting to me because he's had a very up and down career. When he first came into the league, first round draft pick, he struggled mightily, very bad. But in the last 2 of the last 3 years, he's played very well for the Texans. And but he's never been to a Pro Bowl, and I don't know. It's a little bit of a risky contract, but I think it's worth it. 'Cause I think he is actually a good player. I think he'll only progress from here. He's still kind of young, So I think the Texans are really banking on him to continue to develop and hold down the fort.
Right.
Because there's a lot of teams that was interested in trying to sign Kareem Jackson. I know the Jets were really looking into him. I believe the Eagles were actually also looking into him before they signed Byron Maxwell. So I think he made out really well on the deal, and I think the Texans might think got a player that could really be helpful.
All right. Now tell me about Devin McCourtney. What do you think about his contract?
That contract actually surprised me a little bit, and I'm going to tell you why. I actually was not – I didn't think he was going to come back to New England. I thought he was going to actually end up testing the market and signing elsewhere, especially since the New York Giants, the Jaguars were just a couple of teams that were interested in maybe signing him and bringing him along.
Right.
But the contract's for 5 years, $47.5 million guaranteed. $47.5 million, $28.5 million is guaranteed. That's actually really good numbers for him. He's getting paid. Supposedly, he actually left money elsewhere. He took less to stay with the Patriots. But he's honestly one of the top 5 free safeties in the league. And I think the money was worth it, especially since the Patriots paid him a lot of money. But one thing to think about is, does this contract hurt the Patriots' chances of signing other free agents? Shane Vereen, but even more importantly, Darrelle Revis.
Right.
Who has up until the end of the Patriots have up until the end of the day to take up the option, the team option to keep him on the team. If you don't pick up today, he'll be a free agent. So that's what it comes down to. Do they still have the money to keep Darrell Reeves, or was it either Devin McCourtney or Darrell Reeves? I don't know. It's still too early to tell, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right.
But that's just the beginning of free agency. We have many more weeks, perhaps a couple more months of, seeing the field, see who goes where. But that's the early recap on NFL free agency. I'm Sam Garcia alongside John Nickus. And see you next week.